I'm Yoshiller, and I don't quite know how to begin. Traditionally, I would post an annual Plans for the Year video, which typically contains the title of, "So, insert year here, what's next?" And it would analyze my content output for the previous year in order to gain any newfound knowledge to construct a plan and pursue a goal for the current year. These videos would ideally come out early in the year, or early enough at least, preferably as close to the beginning of the year as possible. This way, they would act as a roadmap for the type of content that I'd strive to create as I move forward, and for the following year, when I made the same annual video again, it'd be easier to compare and contrast each of the years in their videos with one another. Last year, in 2024, my annual plans video was released at the end of February, and we're talking the very end, February 29th. I really used that extra day of the year. Yeah, I wanted to finish and upload the video much earlier, but I made it my goal for the year to find steady footing and to get my upload schedule back on track in cooperation with my newly developing work and life balance. And I didn't want to make the same mistake for this year, 2025. In fact, part of my overall goal for this year was going to be to get my life back on track and not repeat the same mistakes that I made last year. And obviously, that didn't happen. Not from lack of trying, mind you, but rather because my circumstances have changed and my life has shifted in a way that made my plans ultimately fall apart as a result. Maybe this is a good way to start the topic of this video and set its initial tone. The goals that I had intended to plan for 2025 have already fallen apart. And so, I'll have to pivot and restructure new plans accordingly. I can't guarantee whether or not I'll repeat the same mistakes as previous years, but at the very least, I hope to make 2025 a year where I can bounce back and stop falling. I'm just so bummed that this video and my plans for the year now have to be this way. This annual video was slated to be released in January, and now it's coming out in March, for crying out loud. I was writing this video and was getting ready to work on this project, and I was mapping out the rest of the year with all sorts of other ambitious projects, and here's proof! I was writing the original draft of this video in a little notebook, and now most of the information in that draft is outdated and inaccurate, which makes it null and void, so I had to toss it out, and the time that I spent on it won't be returned either. Now, writing a new script and redoing a video isn't all that huge a deal, but it's just a bit of extra salt on the wound knowing that I really did try to make this year better and different and was unable to do so. At least, I've been unable to do so thus far. Either way, this should demonstrate just how far behind I've fallen. I even considered just skipping this annual tradition altogether. And it wouldn't have been the first time that I'd pass on uploading this yearly video, but since one of my big plans for the year is to overhaul my channel alongside the launch of a new second channel, I thought it best to discuss these matters in one centralized area. If things really are going to change in drastic ways, then I would feel more comfortable discussing the topic first. Plus, I do think that this will be a good way to ease my mind and deposit my thoughts, and I think it's best to keep both this tradition going and to continuously set new goals each year and reflect on these uploads so that I may continue to improve and grow as a creator and video editor. With all of that being said, my initial draft of this 2025 plans video was a lot more peppy, upbeat, and optimistic. I apologize for adopting a woe is me attitude for the first portion of this video, and I promise that it won't all be negative. Still, I think the stark contrast in tone is relevant. Originally, my goal was to hit the ground running and really just pursue all these grand projects and work really hard to make this my biggest, most outgoing year ever. I was gonna strive for 100,000 subscribers. I was so excited to create all sorts of content, and with the style of a second channel in the works and a schedule of a new style of content for my current channel, I was eager to really get everything underway. And so I started writing, developing this video on the very first day of the new year, and I was preparing all sorts of fun content to immediately have ready in an effort to have a steady upload schedule that aligned with my interest in ever-growing work regimen, and I was just so eager to do it all. I was going to, and still intend to, wrap up my previous projects and then pivot my channel into a new direction that better aligned with my interest and time availability, but instead, I'm now left with this feeling of deflation. I haven't posted anything up to now, and all of those projects still remain incomplete. Now, that's on me. I wanted this video to be the first video that I posted to this channel for the year. Because this video was originally slated to go up back in January, I didn't think that this would be a huge deal. But now that I've gone 2.5 months without posting anything, it just feels weird. I feel so defeated. I could have just posted anything and everything else first, but it just wouldn't have felt right. I felt as though that if I were to do that, then I would have just abandoned this video completely, and I didn't like that alternative either. So I set out to make this video the first one that I'd post for the year, and I'd roll with the consequences. And yeah, I'm dealing with the consequences. I'm mentally and emotionally frustrated. It sucks that the video is coming out now instead of January, and that's the result of me being unable to post or work on anything for a while, so that meant that I was unable to work on any content again. And whenever I would be able to work on content again, I'd basically have to play a ton of catch up, and that would all be bottlenecked until I finished this video. For now, I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm basically going through a few different rounds of catch up, with this video being round 1. But once this video is up and this round is completed, I can tick this off my to-do list and move on to everything else. Okay, I've been blabbing for quite a bit now, and I imagine some of you may be wondering what exactly happened, and why don't you just shut your mouth and focus on a solution instead? Sure, the purpose of this video isn't to vent, it's to reflect and map out a future plan. So, what held me back this year so far? Well, in 2024, I began developing health problems with my gastrointestinal tract. I initially dismissed these issues as painful stomach cramps and thought that they would be periodic at worst, but these pains developed and became so extreme that I wound up in the emergency room multiple times. And sadly, I now have a number of growing health problems in which none of them have any easy fixes. I was also hoping to keep this part of my life private. I wanted my channel and content to be a place of entertainment and joy, but my health problems persisted and they began to interfere more and more with content creation and day-to-day life, and so it became inevitable that I would need to address this subject on my social media platforms. So there were many days where I was simply unable to work on videos because I was busy recovering in a hospital instead. And while I wouldn't say that I was embarrassed by my health problems, I didn't want to be defined by them going forward either. So I kept this topic on the down low until I absolutely needed to mention it. With all that said, for as negative as a time as it was each time I had to visit the emergency room, I did receive a large amount of support from fans and viewers via numerous posts and private messages, and those supportive comments were definitely helpful to see during an otherwise sad and scary time of my life. I'm very grateful to have had such an amazing audience over these years, and I'm glad that you're still able and willing to support me. Still, the fact remained that I was unable to work on anything during that period, and my inability to do so only made me depressed and frustrated. It's still depressing and frustrating as I look back on it, and the longer I was unable to work, the more exponential the damage to my channel and schedule became, because I knew that whenever I would get back to content creation, I'd immediately have to play catch up, and nobody would care what I was working on at that point. For instance, in 2024, I thought I'd finished Tears of the Kingdom by around the middle of the year or so. Oh, how naive I was. The truth of the matter was that I was busy. Very busy. Perhaps I could have organized things more optimally and could have gotten Tears of the Kingdom finished, but I balanced multiple projects instead. The alternative was that I primarily recorded and focused on Tears of the Kingdom, but then I maybe didn't get to record or experience a lot of the other projects that I had created instead. Would that have been the best option? Or was it better to split myself amongst multiple projects? I remain uncertain. But the fact of the matter is, I was unable to finish and pursue everything that I had wanted, mainly because I was busy devoting my time and effort to specifically chosen project instead. And I know I have to focus on my health. Everyone says that, and everyone is correct. I just wish that I could have still been creating things. It annoys me that I have to focus on my health first. The timing is just so bad. Well, I guess health problems are never good in the way of timing, and I know that life is never entirely fair, yet I just want to be able to keep creating, that's all. I can improve my health, yeah, and then what? It's just a setback. I wanted to be able to keep going. I didn't want to have to stop. I want to work on these projects. It's one thing to be held back because there simply aren't enough hours in the day. Maybe I'm busy with work, and I can't work on this Pokemon project because I'm busy working on Splatoon. But now it's more extreme. I have to focus on my health first before I work on another project. I have so many videos that I want to create, which is both a blessing and a curse, and I'm glad that I feel inspired to be able to create and take on such huge tasks, but the longer I go without being able to work on them, the more it hurts. It feels like an addiction. I constantly feel this need to create something, so it sucks to just have to sit around and wait. All of these ideas are rumbling in my mind, ready to burst, but instead, all that's bursting is my gastrointestinal tract. What's more, during my downtime in the hospital, I would scroll through my videos for the past year, and while there were definitely some fun videos in there, I honestly feel disappointed with my output as a whole for 2024. When looking at it all collectively, this collection of uploads is very inconsistent and is otherwise just a hodgepodge of various random videos. As such, I don't blame people for not watching my content and for not sticking around. I want to fix this in 2025. I want to make content in such a way that if I'm ever unable to post for a while again, and if all I can do is sit back and reflect, then I can look back at my catalog and say, at least I did what I wanted to do. At least I made what I wanted to make. I guess that, in some regards, I'm in a bit of a lucky position. I suppose it's better to have many videos that I want to create and remain temporarily unable to create them, than to have unlimited time to make videos and not want to create any of them. The day I no longer desire to create content anymore is the day that I stop completely. But for now, I have lots of videos that I want to create, and though it can be stress-inducing to not be able to work on them when I want, I trust that I'll eventually be able to create these projects. That's the main thing that's keeping me going. I know that I'll be able to pursue each of these projects one day. The reason it's also frustrating is that it's less a matter of being patient and more a matter of trying to make sure that I actually create each of these videos and finish these projects while I still have the passion to do them. It was already in my plans for this year to make a pivot in my content, hence the overhaul that I mentioned earlier. The original intention was to change my style of content because I had previously strived for daily uploads, and that's just no longer feasible with the life that I have now. And even back then, it wasn't always feasible either. So now that I work 40 plus hours a week at a retail job, daily uploads aren't really my goal anymore. Of course, I want to get content out as frequently as I can, and striving for daily uploads was just my goal for that, but nowadays, I have to decide between creating more ambitious videos or creating more simple daily videos. Honestly, daily uploads are more so just a remnant of my former upload schedule from a different time of my life. That's all fallen to the wayside now as my ongoing projects take longer to complete than I expected. My interests and goals are different now. Daily videos just allow me to complete projects in a more organized and orderly fashion. Yet, here we are in 2025, and many of these projects remain incomplete. For where I am right now, 2.5 months into 2025, none of this is what I wanted, and this is not how I wanted things to go last year or this year. I certainly do not want a repeat of 2024, and I want this year to be better. I want to be better. And, you know, this won't be the case forever. I'll be okay. Yeah, falling behind on projects sucks. Not achieving my goals for the year sucks. Having life-changing health problems sucks. I won't sugarcoat any of it. But I'll be okay. Eventually. I'll finish these outstanding projects and overhaul my channel and pivot my goals accordingly. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Hopefully it'll all be resolved sooner rather than later, but the timeline for this year is all so uncertain right now. Yet, there are a few things that, while I can't say them with utmost certainty, I can say them with a bit of confidence. These projects will be completed. My health will improve. My goals will be pursued. I'm not defeated just yet. I'm damaged and I may be down, but I'm not out. Even if it won't be easy, I'll keep moving forward. Or trying to at least. I've still got that drive. And my big goal for 2025 was, and technically still is, to not make the same mistakes as 2024 and to make this year my biggest year for content yet. Perhaps that won't be achieved by sheer quantity, but this can be achieved in a different way by modifying my output and creating content that makes me feel proud. And then hopefully having a decent amount of quantity behind it. After all, the most important thing is that I still enjoy creating videos, and I want to maintain that enjoyment. For as long as I have ideas, I'll keep creating content, and for as long as I enjoy creating videos, I'll keep striving to do so. I've been putting a damper on things, but I did have fun in 2024, and while the collective whole of my output is not particularly noteworthy, there are still some accomplishments that I feel are worth mentioning. Throughout the year, I posted about 120 total videos, and while that is certainly less than the amount I posted in previous years, I think that being able to say that I posted content for a third of the year, while working over 40 hours a week and sometimes including editing intensive segments in the mix, is notable. I had also engaged in a fair share of collaborative opportunities, whether it be joining friends for their podcasts or personal series, or inviting guests for multiplayer content on my own channel. Again, it was all ultimately less than I would have preferred, but I still had a lot of fun with friends this past year, and I at least recorded enough different games to have some variety. Even though I'm still a bit bothered by my 2024 uploads looking like a hodgepodge collection of content, I still appreciate that there was still a decent selection of games in the mix. It just would have looked a tad stronger had I posted more videos in the year overall, then the variety would have looked a bit cleaner overall too, but I digress. And I was able to do all of this while editing for other people as well, but I'll touch on that subject a little later. On the topic of variety, or lack thereof, the bulk of my 2024 was occupied primarily by Splatoon 3 and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Though neither of these games were 2024 releases, I was able to engage in a great number of timed events for the former, including being able to earn some valuable badges and showcase special features and mechanics that the game has available, and I was able to overcome monumental hurdles and tasks in the latter, having gathered several collectibles and clearing tedious completion criteria. All this to say, even though I didn't do as much in 2024 as a whole as I initially desired, it's not as if I did nothing. Those would be some of the positives at least. Yet it doesn't take away from the fact that me taking so long to complete Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom took up the bulk of 2024's uploads, and the majority of the year's uploads were primarily focused on Splatoon 3 otherwise. There were definitely things that I wanted to achieve in both of these games, and they were somewhat time sensitive, and so I put all my time and effort into those desires that I didn't work on anything else until I achieved what I needed to in each game. And the thing is, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is still an ongoing project, and Splatoon 3 still has things that I'm trying to achieve. I wouldn't say that I necessarily regret putting so much focus on these two specific games, but they are the major reasons why I wanted to make a pivot in my channel's content. They were fun games, and I created some fun videos with them, and I'm glad that I achieved what I set out to achieve, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm proud of these videos either. Videos that contain more intensive edits and structuring that can be watched in isolation, such as the 2 vlogs for Japan that I posted last year, or maybe some of the opening explanations from some of my other gameplay videos, would better fit this criteria. Basically, anything that elevates my videos beyond just a regular slice of gameplay footage, that's what I'd be willing to include in my portfolio. That's the type of stuff that usually makes me feel more proud. Now, it's not as if I want to just start including a bunch of edited segments in my gameplay videos just to make myself feel proud and better about my work. Parts of my Tears of the Kingdom walkthrough are intentionally meant to serve as simple gameplay videos. I don't have to feel proud about them, but it doesn't change the fact that I don't feel proud about them. With that in mind, I do want to create simple content too, and not everything has to be this grand epic project. Even though my Tears of the Kingdom walkthrough was the main project for the year, it winds up feeling more like filler content until I get the next big project released. But that's fine. Greater edits have their places in other videos instead, and simplicity has its place too. I still enjoy the benefit from just uploading random multiplayer videos and occasional game showcase sessions, but as I move forward, I'm growing more interested in shifting my content toward more ambitious outings in an effort to fulfill my desire for satisfaction and pride in my work, since I no longer feel the urge to create daily content, and since it's hardly possible for me to achieve that anymore anyway, I've decided to embrace the extra time that it takes for me to create videos and to instead develop content that can satisfy me in other ways. I mainly feel the sense of satisfaction when I edit videos for other people. I briefly mentioned this earlier, but for those that don't already know, I've been very fortunate to edit for a number of noteworthy creators in the gaming space over the years, and more often than not, their videos are typically editorial focused and well structured. Suffice to say, their videos are the main ones that often end up in my portfolio instead of my simple gameplay ones. And so, I often obtain my sense of satisfaction from editing videos for them while I post simplified gameplay videos to my own channel in an effort to accomplish the best of both desires. None of this has ever been a huge problem, and I intend to keep editing for other creators in addition to editing my own work, yet I also want to create these types of videos for myself and add more of my own content into my own portfolio. That is to say, I don't want to have to wait to edit for others in order to feel the sense of satisfaction. I want to be able to feel it in my own content too. I want to create the videos that I edit for other clients, for myself too. See, I often get to repurpose the gameplay that I record for my channel and reuse it for all the various editorials and well-structured content that I create for others. Because I've been doing this for multiple years, I now possess an abundance of footage that I can utilize thanks to the fact that I've recorded so much footage across so many games. Even in this video, you've been seeing a fair share of the gameplay footage that I've accumulated across all this time, and most of the footage that I've used in this video has been from 2024 alone. So I figure, I enjoy doing this for other creators, so why not do it for myself as well? I have more than enough footage already. All this being said, I already had a lot of these desires and thoughts back in 2024 as well. I had plans to act on them, but of course, my plans didn't come to fruition in the year as a result of projects taking longer to complete than expected and me still attempting to adjust to my new work schedule. So now these former 2024 plans have become my current 2025 plans. And it was my previous intention to finish Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in the middle of 2024 and then perform my channel overhaul slightly thereafter, but evidently, Tears of the Kingdom wound up being a very big game. Due to those plans falling through, I shall now attempt the same strategy again for this year, such as long as I finish Tears of the Kingdom in the next month or so. The main crux of my 2025 plans is to follow through with my 2024 plans and to make this year a better year. Now, I'm already at a bit of a disadvantage due to my health problems holding me back for the first quarter of the year, and hopefully by now you folks can see why it's been so frustrating that my gastrointestinal issues have been holding me back. But I still intend to better cater to my drive to create content, and I believe that will happen. Just hopefully that will happen sooner rather than later. But I'm getting this video out of the way so that I may address my plans for the year, and that's a necessary first step. And once this video is up, I can move on to the next step. Slowly but surely, I'm making progress. To reiterate where things are currently before I pursue my 2025 endeavors, as it stands, my channel is a shell of its former self. Finishing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is simply a goal for this year because I intend to finish what I started all the way back in 2023. And in those days, I was still striving for daily content. Daily walkthrough videos, especially for games that were as grand in scale as Zelda titles, served as a nice, easy way to achieve this schedule. Though it is no longer attainable or even necessarily desirable for me to post daily content, I'd still like to finish what I started, mostly due to the fact that the tedious tasks are now complete and the game and walkthrough are already so close to being finished anyway. A few years back, my daily upload schedule contained variety beyond just walkthrough videos. Even when I was posting daily Tears of the Kingdom uploads or any other game walkthrough, I also supplemented my content with other videos on other days so that viewers may look forward to specific days of the week. This is another leftover from my former way of thinking and way of creating content. But these thoughts did lead to me developing my current plans. In other words, it was the content that I uploaded beyond the walkthrough videos that both my fans and I enjoyed watching and creating, and this other content is what allowed me to start feeling these feelings of pride and satisfaction. So beyond my walkthrough videos, which were uploaded on the weekdays, I also posted online multiplayer content on the weekends, and then I had variety content with my Whatever Wednesday videos on, well, Wednesdays. These videos were included to mix things up and because I simply had many interests in other games that I wished to showcase on my channel. I didn't want to just be a Zelda guy, or a Kirby guy, or even just a walkthrough guy. I also enjoyed playing Mario Kart, and Splatoon, and Super Smash Bros, and Pokemon, so I posted videos of all of those games on the weekends, which also provided me an opportunity to play with fans and friends on a regular basis. And then the Whatever Wednesday videos were whatever. They could be more multiplayer videos with fans and friends, or they could be a gameplay video of some other random or niche game, or they could be a collection or showcase of multiple games. In an ideal world, Whatever Wednesday videos came out every Wednesday and provided a palate cleanser and a schedule of consistently uploaded walkthrough videos and frequent multiplayer matches across a few different weekend series. This was also overly ambitious, even if the majority of these uploads were just simple gameplay videos. It turns out that posting daily videos isn't always easy, especially when some of these videos can be over an hour long. Sure, there were a number of weeks where I was successful and pulled this off. I think my most consistent streak of uploads was 70 days in a row, and I had plenty of other streaks that were around the 30-day mark, with some days actually featuring multiple uploads in one day, and I was pulling all of this off while still editing for other people too. Even then, up until the end of 2023, this was mainly a remnant of a different way of thinking about my content from years past, and it became unstable as I pursued larger and more ambitious projects. And that brings us to 2024, where some of these videos were so large and ambitious that they were just posted whenever they were finished, and they threw off any consistent upload schedule that I had previously previously established. And that's mostly how my 2024 output wound up being a majority of Zelda and Splatoon videos. I still want to record and post multiplayer gameplay in games such as Splatoon, and it's still a game that I enjoy, and there are still components of it in other games that I still wish to showcase, but I'll need to reevaluate how I need to go about creating, editing, and posting these videos in the future. As for my Whatever Wednesday videos, I still desire to keep posting these too. Over the years, they have allowed me to experiment with other styles of content and try out different styles of editing. The better part of my Whatever Wednesday series contain videos that really just do not fit anywhere else on my channel, and they're usually quick one-off videos, often a multiplayer video of some random game, and were meant to serve as a video that can be watched without any prior context. All this to say, a Whatever Wednesday video could be someone's first exposure to me, and oftentimes, these videos were just that. And, like I mentioned earlier, they also serve the purpose of giving a viewer something to enjoy each week if they didn't enjoy the regular output of other daily videos. In short, these videos were meant to be easy to jump into with an underlying aspect of you didn't really know what you were gonna get each week. And they helped me too so that I wasn't just posting Zelda or Pokemon or whatever. Once a week, I could post anything. So I use the Whatever Wednesday slot to sometimes post pilots for new ideas and video series to see how favorable certain styles of content on my channel would fare. I sometimes use the Whatever Wednesday slot to create editorials and well-structured content of my own, and they went over pretty well. And then I created some long play content, sometimes full playthroughs of games, and viewers seem to enjoy those too. And the type of video that I really enjoyed creating that also received positive results were the finally completing videos, which were long-form videos that were essentially trimmed down long plays. The first finally completing video that I made was for Pokemon Stadium, which is interesting because technically the first Whatever Wednesday video that I made was also for Pokemon Stadium. But anyway, I made the finally completing Pokemon Stadium video because I never completed Pokemon Stadium. It was a childhood favorite title of mine, but I never finished all of the cups. I didn't even know there was a round 2 mode. So I thought it'd be a fun video idea to play my old cartridge, resume where I left off, and record the entire thing as one video. Or 2 videos, I guess. And there was also a secondary purpose in picking Pokemon Stadium specifically. I've recently gotten into the habit of recording and documenting rare or niche modes and features of classic video games. I already do this regularly, and as I've established, I have a huge catalog of games that I've recorded over the years, and if you combine that with all the other games that I posted on my channel over the years, then that catalog is even more enormous. And I chose Pokemon Stadium because I wanted to showcase the game's special transfer pack features. The result was that I thought it'd be fun to make this long play type video, or set of videos, and then just have footage of myself using the transfer pack for future use. And then I wound up creating 2 fun videos that viewers really seemed to enjoy, and I got my transfer pack footage. Then, I figured another game that I could record was Sonic Adventure 2, which was a game that I never personally 100% completed. So I went and did that, made a fun video, and then the original intention from there was to showcase the game's Game Boy Advance compatibility, but while working on that video, the footage got messed up in the middle of recording. I might revisit that video idea another day, but otherwise, the finally completing Sonic Adventure 2 video was fun to create and wound up being a favorable video altogether. From there, I decided to record and showcase more transfer pack features with Mario Tennis on both the Game Boy and Nintendo 64, with myself creating a video of me completing the Game Boy game first, and that was amusing because that was a game that I hadn't played previously, and it still wound up being a fun video to create that was favorable too. So I really enjoyed creating these types of videos, and I have other videos that I wish to create in this format as well. In fact, I have other videos in a different but similar format to these videos that I'm now interested in creating, and I've been thinking that this finally completing series is the solution that I need. They're videos that I enjoy making, they're videos that I can create at a reasonable pace due to me not striving for daily uploads with them, they're videos that I can work on a bit more easily in conjunction with my busy and hectic work schedule because they're not daily uploads. They allow me to record and document footage that I can repurpose for other videos, and they are videos that give me a sense of satisfaction and pride. And when you think about it, they're a bit of an evolution of my walkthrough content too. I don't think I could have started making content if I just started by posting these long play style videos, but now that I've recorded so many walkthrough parts that already can sometimes be hours long and have posted a number of other long play style videos, I feel more comfortable creating these finally completing videos. And the fact that they're now giving me ideas and are making me feel eager to work on them probably means that I should just pursue it. Plus, I reckon that viewers could just choose to click on a game that catches their interests and just watch the video at their own pace. They can ideally still just watch any video at any time, just like my Whatever Wednesday videos. That's another concern that'd be resolved as well. So going forward, I intend to put an end to my walkthroughs. I'll still wrap up Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and once I finish my other ongoing walkthroughs and projects, the finally completing series will serve as the primary series on my channel. I don't know how frequently they'll be posted, it depends on how difficult it is to complete certain games, and maybe I'll aim for some sort of goal of once a month or something, but I'll need to fill it all out. But the finally completing series will evolve beyond the Whatever Wednesday time slot. They won't be posted weekly like a Whatever Wednesday video, but they'll be posted frequently enough, and Whatever Wednesday videos will still come out here and there as well. This is the channel overhaul that I've been mentioning. I'll be moving forward with the finally completing series instead of walkthroughs. Now, what about all the other content that I create? There are still the online multiplayer matches, things like vlogs, YouTube shorts, and of course, Whatever Wednesday videos. So let's go over each of these series one at a time. With regards to vlogs, well, I've never really been a vlogger, but in hindsight, I'm glad that I vlogged the events that I vlogged. Similarly to a fair share of my gameplay videos, these vlogs have served as documentation, and in contrast to simply playing a game, these types of videos can only be recorded in the moment. They contain footage that highlight significant moments of my life, and that's why I'm super glad that they're documented. The footage that I have of events such as E3 and PAX, or moments like the opening of Super Nintendo World, or my various trips to Japan are so valuable to me. And hey, they may even be valuable to other creators and gaming archivers too. But I do think that I may need to take a step back from creating vlogs. Sorta. See, while I'm glad that I was able to capture all of these significant moments and sometimes career-defining opportunities on a camera, it's not always convenient or even appropriate to have my camera around. And sometimes it really is just better to live in the moment. While I'm at events, I don't want to have to worry about creating a vlog, as I'm constantly trying to capture enough footage to be able to shape some sort of narrative when I get home and begin editing. And whenever there is some sort of career-defining opportunity, I always feel this urge to want to document it. I want to make sure I don't forget these things, you know? And then I have to make mental notes about things that I didn't record, so I have to go home and record VO for those segments, and I have to remember what happened, and then I have to remember sometimes that I use multiple cameras for certain bits, and while I'm proud of the results of all these vlogs and all this footage and documentation, I think I may need to step back from vlogs going forward. There are still a couple of upcoming events that I have an interest in recording, namely the upcoming opening of Nintendo San Francisco and the imminent launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe I'll record some general footage for personal use and future use, and maybe I'll make a YouTube short or something, but whether I'm attending another convention or returning to Japan again or going to some other gaming related event, I don't think that I'll be creating any more vlogs. At least, vlogs will no longer be my priority when attending these events. With any luck, I hope to continue being invited to these events and participating in these special opportunities, but maybe instead of wandering with the camera in an effort to capture sufficient footage for a video, I may just enjoy myself. As I said, I'm not a vlogger. This is not a vlogging channel. I'll gladly participate in the vlogs of others, and I still have plans for a couple of other future projects that require me to be on camera, but otherwise, vlogs are not at the forefront of my current plans. If I do choose to create a new vlog, then yeah, I'll make one, and if I get to participate in some sort of Nintendo Switch 2 opportunity and I'm allowed to wave my camera around, then I'll likely record footage and create a vlog, but I'd say that viewers should expect fewer vlogs from me. With regards to online multiplayer matches, yeah, I'm still gonna play Splatoon and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and whatnot. Those videos aren't going anywhere. Now, at this point in time, my video series for Splatoon 3 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are currently winding down. I've already posted over 100 videos for the former and nearly 100 videos for the latter, so I'm thinking that my Splatoon 3 content will end around 120 videos or so, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will presumably end at exactly 100 videos. I may make a bit of a push in content for both games before the Nintendo Switch 2 officially releases, so that I may have a proper conclusion to each series, and then after that, yeah, I'll make content for whatever sequels appear on the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know how much content I'll make for each game, and I suspect that I may make substantially less content for these games than I have so far, but we'll see. I don't intend to post videos of these games every weekend, but maybe when a new Mario Kart or Splatoon game gets released, then there may be an initial push of content for both games, and then I'll probably slow down and devote more focus to my finally completing series. Still, I enjoy playing games with friends and fans and making multiplayer-focused content, so I'll continue to make videos for these games for as long as Nintendo continues to release them. They're fun to me, and the videos are fun to create, and to me, that's what matters most. So I would say, not as consistent uploads for these, but also be making videos for these games in the future. Now let's address Pokemon specifically. I've made lots of videos regarding Pokemon multiplayer content over the years, and I really just missed the boat when it came to the multiplayer and competitive scene of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It was my previous intention to finish covering the DLC for my Pokemon Scarlet walkthrough and then move into a multiplayer battle series for the game as part of my Pokemon Bata brand that I used for the previous Pokemon entries. I'll still finish covering the DLC of Pokemon Scarlet sometime after I wrap up my Tears of the Kingdom walkthrough, but I think I may need to scrap my plans to post battles on the online side of things. Maybe I'll post a battle or two just to somewhat wrap things up, even though things hardly ever got started. But I feel as though I really did miss out on the integral burst of popularity that this game once had in its multiplayer scene. That's on me. I had to choose which games I wanted to record, and I chose Zelda and Splatoon. And frankly, it's even a bit of a good problem to have so many games that I can choose to record. But I made my choice, and I missed out on the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet competitive scene, and that's a bit of a regret of mine. My plan now was to potentially dive into the recently announced Pokemon Champions title coming to the Nintendo Switch and mobile devices later this year, but we'll see how that game shapes up and what the final product will be. But I acknowledge that I missed the prime time for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and will instead have to await a more opportune time to shine in a series such as Pokemon Champions. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is another game that I still intend to finish recording too, but to me, that's easy. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will still take priority. That's essentially the next bottleneck in my production schedule after this video releases, but then I'll happily jump back to posting content of the GameCube remake frequently. This may even become daily or close to daily until the series is done, and I'll be working on that while I work on the finally completed videos in the background. And once this series series is done, it'll simply be off my schedule, and it will technically serve as the last walkthrough that I ever record for my channel. And that's fitting enough, as the original entry was what helped spawn my username of Yoshiller. I have a whole video about that if you're interested. And the Nintendo Switch remake may go down as my favorite Nintendo Switch title. So it feels appropriate to have this game serve as the end of a chapter for me. The end of my walkthrough era. Though, and I say this next part half jokingly, if a remake for Pokemon Black and White were to ever be announced and released, then I likely would create a traditional walkthrough for that game and record it for my channel. But that'd be the only exception. Even other future Pokemon titles, such as Pokemon Legends ZA releasing later this year, are more prone to getting the finally completing treatment than a walkthrough treatment, and that'll be the case with other major titles released in the future as well. And then, the Whatever Wednesday videos. Sure, this still serves the purpose of being a miscellaneous slot in my schedule, which I find to be beneficial, especially since I enjoy so many other games and franchises and would like an excuse to showcase them on my channel from time to time. In addition to still posting these types of Whatever Wednesday videos, I also intend to post content that won't be in the same traditional quote-unquote style as a lot of my other Whatever Wednesday videos, nor will videos in this series be posted as frequently as they once were. That is to say, Whatever Wednesday videos won't be posted every Wednesday, though admittedly they haven't been posted like that for a while. There'll definitely still be one-off videos that may often resort to being multiplayer videos or gameplay showcases of other miscellaneous games, but I intend for a few of my upcoming Whatever Wednesday videos to truly be one-off videos. I don't quite know how else to explain that, so let me go ahead and use an example. One video that I have an interest in creating one day is about Wii Fit U, but whereas a traditional Whatever Wednesday video may have formerly just been about me recording gameplay of a specific game mode in this fitness title, the video that I currently have in mind is more along the lines of playing the game every day for about 30 minutes a day over the span of a month to see how fit I get, and then compiling all of the progress into a digestible video for your viewing pleasure. I'd basically be gathering about 900 minutes of footage and then would be trimming it down into possibly a 2-hour video instead. Not too unlike one of my finally completing videos, actually. But I'm thinking that Whatever Wednesday videos may be more akin to content like this instead, where I have a completely separate ambitious video project idea for some other gamer series, and then the finished project goes into the Whatever Wednesday slot. Just like in the past, Whatever Wednesday videos can be anything, and sometimes they even serve as a series pilot, so I'm aiming to capitalize on that and use these types of videos to continue to experiment with other video styles. And I want to create more videos that can go in my portfolio. Of course, more traditional videos will still go up, and they'll serve the secondary purpose of allowing me to record gameplay of a game that I can repurpose for another project in the future, just like my finally completing series. And these videos will obviously go out on Wednesdays, but they'll be posted as frequently as I'm able to create them. I imagine that after a certain point, they'll be posted more frequently than my finally completing videos, but I think that early on, they may not be posted all too commonly. We'll see what games get released and what ideas I develop. I have some ideas, and I'll make them once I wrap up a handful of my other projects first. Like I said, I gotta get this video out, and then I gotta wrap up Tears of the Kingdom. But yeah, see what I mean when I say that I have all these ideas and that I was ready to hit the ground running this year, and I would have gotten started on all of these projects sooner if I didn't have to undergo medical treatment for my gastrointestinal issues. But I did have issues, and I had to focus on that first when all I wanted to do was work on all of this stuff. I had all of these plans months back, and I really wanted to get things started back in January. I had ideas for future Whatever Wednesday videos and games that I wanted to cover as part of my finally completing series, and instead of being able to immediately dive into creating all this content, I had to sit back for a few months and recover. It may have been necessary, but it was absolutely infuriating. I had a flame that was ignited, but I had to keep it contained. So, now that I am able to create content again, I intend to do so, and I hope that people will still remain interested in my future plans, and I hope that my content can be entertaining to you all. And even if it's not, I suppose that the more important thing is that I retain some of the eagerness that I have to pursue all of these projects. So even if viewers aren't interested in any of my upcoming content, I'll still most likely create it anyway to satisfy myself and have something to put in my portfolio. I just need to keep that flame going. Once more, the plan is to wrap up Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and then move into an overhaul of my channel with a focus on my finally completing series. My Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door walkthrough and my coverage of Pokemon Scarlet's DLC will be posted on the side with occasional Whatever Wednesday uploads here and there, and online multiplayer content regarding Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon, and eventually Pokemon will continue as I have interest. And these series will likely reach a close soon as well in preparation of their upcoming sequels on the Nintendo Switch 2. Vlogs will likely cease to exist after a certain point, and all of the gameplay that I record for any of the games on my channel going forward will be repurposed for other projects. And on that note, one of the other big goals that I'm hoping to achieve this year is to be able to actively run a second channel. I'm referring to this new channel as my Blue channel, or Yoshiller Blue. See, this current channel that you're watching is my gameplay channel, and I now refer to it as my green channel. Think green for gameplay. I've got the green Yoshi hat on and all. Then, the footage that is recorded and documented for here gets used in videos for the Blue channel, which are editorial and well-structured videos that can also provide me a sense of pride and satisfaction. They are more topical videos that discuss specific gaming subjects, but the more important thing is that they're not simple gameplay videos with commentary. That's what this green channel is for. So if you want to watch more structured content, or videos like this, where my thoughts are more collected and scripted, then please give my new blue channel a visit. In fact, at this point in time, the first 3 videos for that channel are now available, and each one provides a different style of content that you can expect to see from that channel moving forward. Earlier, I mentioned that I wanted to create videos in the same vein that I do for my clients. Well, now I can do that with Yoshiller Blue. Yoshiller Blue is meant to serve as a creative outlet for me. Just like this main green channel moving forward, I'll be posting content on that account regardless of their relevancy or performance. I'll be posting videos as I feel the urge to create. That is to say, just like my plans for this green channel, even if nobody watches this new channel, Yoshiller Blue will still serve its purpose in allowing me to create different styles of content that I just want to create, or as I just mentioned, it will serve as my creative outlet. So the overall idea is that I no longer have a set, strict upload schedule and that videos will be posted whenever I have ideas and can complete them on both the green and blue channels. My work schedule is busy and I'm working around that. But then, after I regain my footing and better figure out my work schedule, there will be videos posted at a steady pace for both channels, where gameplay-focused videos such as my finally completing series and my multiplayer content will occupy my green channel, and editing-intensive videos such as editorials and video essays, or, videos like this, will occupy the blue channel. It's a lot of content to create, I know, but it's all stuff that I want to create, and I think that this will be the best way to go about organizing things. I want to make content that I want to make, and even if a video is irrelevant and underperforms, at least I can say that I did it, and then I can move on to the next project. And for the record, my health problems aren't a sensitive subject, but I don't want them to define my work or me either. I don't mind if people bring up my health issues and ask how I'm doing, but I don't want them to be a prevalent subject of my future videos. My health problems are a prominent part of my life now, but I don't want them to be the definition of my identity. I'm so much more than a person with health problems. I'm the guy with the Yoshi hat. So while it was very validating to see everyone's kind words while I was in the hospital, I don't want my social media posts to be flooded with me begging for kind words. I'll only bring up my health problems if another urgent situation occurs. For now, I'd rather people know me as a hard worker and as someone who has accomplished something. So if you're watching this video and are wondering if I'll actually be able to pull off this whole blue and green initiative, then good. Stand back and watch me work. That way, even if my health and life problems persist, people will hopefully know me for my ambitions first. The more compliments, the better. And I, personally, want to look back at my videos and see a catalog where I feel proud. Even if my green channel is still technically a hodgepodge of various gameplay videos, at least I'll be able to look back at the videos and feel a bit more accomplished. And then the blue channel will allow me to have a sense of flexibility with it being my creative outlet beyond just gameplay videos. And even if all these ideas wind up being a catastrophic failure and I don't accomplish any of the goals and projects that I set out to do, I at least think it's better that I try to pursue all of these tasks, rather than sitting around wishing that I would pursue all these tasks. That's basically how I started in January, and I don't want to have that same feeling again. So I can only hope that at least some of you will join me for the ride. So now I want to get back on track, and I want to create bigger and better things. And if things ever do go bad again and my schedule falls apart, I hope that people are able to remember me for some sort of notable impact that I had on the gaming community or the gaming industry. Just as well, I've sure done a lot of cool stuff over the years, haven't I? 2024 was far from a perfect year, but it did have its highlights. And I don't want 2025 to be the same, I want it to be better. Hopefully this year will provide more fun and unique opportunities, and I hope that I'm able to bounce back with my finally completing series and with my new blue channel. It'll start out as a year of playing catch up, and while I'm able to work on videos and have the drive and flame to motivate me to keep doing so, then I'll keep pushing forward. I believe things will get better, and the fact that I'm still having fun creating content is so important and valuable. I'll do my best to achieve a better upload schedule, I'll do my best to pursue all of my projects, and I'll do my best to manage all of my endeavors with both my green and blue channels. I'm going to feel better about my goals, I'm going to feel better about my content, I'm going to feel better about this year than last year. And with any luck, I can make this year my best year yet. Here's to a better year, and here's to 2025.